Of change. This is the sound of redemption. This is the way that we burn down, 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 down. Igniting the fire within you, exalting the down, down, down. Down, 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 down. So gather the faithful, tell everyone to stand and shout loud, shout loud, shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Down, down, down.
Let me tell you, it's in the air. Joy is in the air. Love is in the air. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Don't sleep on it, brother. You might get left, sister. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Justice. No need to be counted, cause I am down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down for the end of racism, for the end of bigotry, cause I am down. For the end of misogyny, that's right. For all the isms out there, just down, down, down. Let's bring it down.
Into the cries of contrition. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. We are the children of Eden, dancing and celebrating freedom. We are the ones that must bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful, tell everyone to stand and shout loud, shout loud, shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. We've got to bring it down, down. Stand up and shout, stand up and shout. Rise together.
Accountability.
Stand up, shout it loud.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginal...
Morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Eric Dawson Show. I hope that fan's not too loud, but it's warm. So I got a fan blowing on me.
It's fine. Good morning.
I want it to sound like like an airplane before thing. So you were saying that take it. Well, so you all know I was telling Vincent that I'm tired, but tired partly because of medical stuff, but also because of, pushing the envelope. In business development. And I don't know if I've included you in the links, but Diane, you talked about it yesterday, right? What the great work that the Urban League is doing with this entrepreneurial.
Oh, goodness, yes. I forgot to put it in the links. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the Essex County, Essex North, as well as GNEC organization, which is out of Newark as well. They're doing entrepreneurial workshops virtually. They're free for people who want to start a business, thinking about starting a business, or are already in business.
Yeah.
So for people who are already in business, it's always great, these classes, because you get to network with new businesses that may be able to partner with you in your business to help you grow, and you help them grow.
Right. And so what we were talking as far as Grandma Emma's is concerned, and just as we start to feel comfortable about how things are going, I push again, is where I'm pushing, trying to do more. I feel a little tired. Then again, I get comfortable a week or so later. Then I push it again, and I get comfortable. And then Vincent, that's all.
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Diane, here, from my experience, now, I did the same thing. I was pushing for my first million, and I continued to push the envelope every time. And I had a full boat. I was going to college, had just gotten married, just moved into a new home, and this new business where I wanted it. My goal was to push it to $1 million in revenue within a year. So, but the downside of that was this. First, I was pushing it so much that I stopped ignoring things like my health, welfare, and my family, not to mention my prayer life and belief in time with God. So the result of that was, my wife hated who my daughter was because, I spent very much time with her and her growth and progress. I wasn't even in it or involved in it. And the worst thing about it was my health declined. I was so tired from pushing the envelope that I fell asleep in total 2 cars on the Schuylkill Expressway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that you have to balance it, though, right? So I don't want to jump off the deep end again, Vincent, in terms of telling people that they shouldn't push the envelope.
You have to come to some compromise with your desire and needs, and your needs to be well-rounded. And at some point in time, you have to say that the objective allure and glory and all the glitz that comes along with making money, is it worth losing everything?
Well, no, but again, you are Mr. Doom and Gloom, dude. I mean, it's crazy. So it's kind of.
Yesterday I missed the optimist. Now I'm doom and gloom.
No. Yesterday you were doom and gloom too, where you made a comment about the kind of businesses that you shouldn't start, and it's like, wow, it shouldn't be that limited, right? And the same thing.
Call a lot of things.
But
doom and gloom is never one of them.
Well, but the same thing here. I mean, I think that look, I would say that you have people who have pushed the envelope, have slept on futons and on cots and on office floors, and or as they haven't done those kinds of things. I mean, I think that I guess where I'm looking at it is, I think, well, a couple things. I think
what I want to say, Eric, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You pushed it, and this is my.
See, because what I'm saying is this: you offered no sunshine at all. Like literally, you talked. No, let me finish.
I can't offer sunshine because you can't let me.
No. Well, so okay. So you said, and I totaled 2 cars, and then at that point, I began to talk. So. Okay, you had more to say other than totaling 2 cars? What else did you do?
So I had to compromise. And then, my pastor said one of the most important things, because it would get to the point where, my health was in jeopardy. He said, what good is it to accomplish all this and you're not alive to enjoy it?
Here you go again. More freaking gray clouds. So then you're gonna die. So now you total cars, you die. Your family leaves you. You do a look.
Eric,
Vincent. Well, then get to what is the moral of your story?
The moral of the story is this, Eric. The world changes if you're not here.
What? See, again, okay. So,
Yeah,
all right,
because
we're in two
of-
different spaces in this conversation, which is what I'm trying to say. So, and you and I are coming from two different. I'm trying to give you I'm trying to understand. So, your moral is what? That you should do what?
My moral for you is this, Eric.
No, not for me. It's not about me. It's not about me.
It is about you.
No.
Because this whole conversation and this whole thing was about
No,
you.
no, 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 no,
It's about
no,
you.
no. It's not about me. I wasn't talking about me. I wanted to know what you thought in general about pushing, not about Eric pushing, but about pushing in businesses.
Okay. Well,
right.
about pushing in business.
But now I know that. But now I know that your conversation is more, and I appreciate the love and the concern. So now I know. I didn't know it was specifically about me, but now I do. That's what I'm saying. I was trying to get to the point, right? So I'm speaking in general about entrepreneurs. Yes, sir.
Eric, here's the point.
Yeah.
And why I said the world changes without you. Because you do so much to change the world or the world around you. You change those people who depend on you, who look up to you, who you are a resource of knowledge, and who you give a voice to. You change that if you go, and if you cannot perform.
All right. So right. Man, you took this a whole place that I didn't expect.
Well, I knew it was coming. You just kept pushing them. But go ahead.
No, I did. Listen, when I tell you honestly, I thought that we were talking in general about, which is why I segued to the Urban League, right? Because I thought we were having a conversation about entrepreneurs in general, business development in general, and in me, developing a business, but business development in general and what folks should and shouldn't be doing. That's why I kept trying to refocus it. So I believe that pushing the envelope is necessary, right? I think that balance is important. I think that this week and last week as well, where I said that everybody wants to be at the top of the mountain, but very few are willing to climb, right? And so for the people who decide that they want to try to climb Mount Everest or any other mountain or accomplish any other feat, there is a team that they assemble around them because they understand the arduous task of doing that, right? Because if everybody could do it, then it wouldn't be something to accomplish. So, if you have whether it's a marathon a runner or a cyclist or a mountain climber or a cliffhanger or any of those other kinds of things, they assemble a team. They first check with their medical team to make sure that they're medically fit. Then they check with all of the other requisite team members to make sure that they have everything that they need in order to be able to do it. And then they begin to push, because pushing is required. If you don't push, right, doors in all of these instances, whether you take a marathon runner, you hit what they call a wall, right? And you have to push through that wall. If you're talking about a weightlifter, you have to push through the wall. And if you don't, then whatever that lifter has to go beyond that, right? And so every single people that you ought not do that, right? That you ought to find, and pushing is good because it lets you know that you're growing, right? I remember my youngest brother. I think he was in the 7th grade, maybe the 8th grade. But he used to wake up in the middle of the night screaming in agony. And none of us knew, my dad, my stepmom, none of us, my sisters, none of us knew what was going on. But he would wake up crying in agony. And over that summer, my brother grew like it was crazy, the height he grew in that one summer. And it was growing pains that his joints were literally aching him, right? And so, growing, there are pains in growing, right? And so, I would rather have people lean into it, not recklessly, but certainly lean into it. Because if you're complacent, then you're not growing.
Well, and that's the whole thing. That's where you have to find that balance. Oh, by the way, to answer your question, people want to climb Mount Everest, but even in climbing Mount Everest, they have metrics. it takes 2 months to climb Mount Everest. So there are limitations that physically we have to adhere to. And that's what I'm saying to you.
Well,
Because
but
if you-
now, see, stop for a second. See, you can't even do that, Vincent. See, because wherever that metric at 2 months came from, it took longer than 2 months before, and then somebody pushed the envelope, right? And they developed new equipment, they developed new technology, and then they pushed, and then they got there faster, and they got there faster, and so right now, it may be 2 months, but it's 2 months in 2020. But you better believe that there's somebody trying to push the envelope. And so maybe when we're dead and buried, right, somebody will be climbing Mount Everest in 1 month. Right? And to think that, and for them to think 2 months, they'll look back at history. Sorry?
The fastest is 47 days.
No, I'm not. For now it is. Right? But before the 47 days, there was something else. There was another fastest time, which was longer than 47 days. And somebody didn't settle for 47 days being envelope. Doctors pushed the envelope. The athlete pushed the envelope. They all pushed the envelope.
But those are metric.
So in regards to the business networking and the development and all of that, what else did you get out of it?
Me?
Yeah, because those are only you and me with one.
Oh well, I got a lot out of it. I mean, and I think we talked about some of it. The biggest thing is that
Positive.
well, the biggest thing is, and it was interesting for me listening to it because I've done a lot of it, right? I've done a lot of those kinds of seminars for people. I've functioned as a product developer of what you're going to do, and that was the last session that he talked about validation, because you could waste your time, right? If you don't get that, and I'm not talking about grandma who loves you telling you it's a great idea, or your mom or your dad who's supportive of you telling you that it's a great idea. I'm talking market validation at the end of the day, and that's that people are purchasing it or people are calling and wanting it, and then you have it, and then how do you from that point on, and we talked about this a bit yesterday, how do you, it is through having a differentiator. Sometimes it is through smart marketing, right? 80% of all new businesses are going to fail in the first year, and then 50% of those that survive are going to fail within the next 5 years. Fact.
So when do you think is a good time to start a business?
When is a good time?
Mm-hmm. Or is there a good time?
I think that today is a great time for somebody to start a business. Listen, did you see?
That is true.
Did you see? I came across my feed. What is the biggest thing? And right now in this pandemic, right? People are wearing masks. Right, and I said to somebody jokingly, if you ever come up with a mask that allows you to eat without having to lower it, you'll be a millionaire instantly, right? You just will be. My daughter told me, she said, "Daddy, your smartphone's always listening to you." So today I look on my phone. I don't know if this thing has come past your feed, but they have clear masks. Right? Because one of the things that people talk about, and you and I talked about this, Diane, yesterday when we were driving, I said, we were people watching, and I said, they can't even tell that we're talking about them because they can't see your face, right? And other people have said, you smile behind the mask and nobody can see you, and then people say, you can see you smile in your eyes, yada, yada, yada. Well, anyway, now one of the big things about this clear mask is that you can see people smile. Right? And so
mask all the way clear? Or is it a flap that you pull up?
No. The whole front of it is clear. It's almost like it's a mask, and it has around the edges to seal around the outer part of your mouth and up to your nose. And that's the other thing, right? So it started off utilitarian. We just need it. You got to have it, right? So, and then designers started designing them, right, with words and other kinds of things. And now folks are looking and they're saying, well, this is going to be here for a while. And so people are now investing more brain power in trying to figure out how to differentiate their mask from another mask. So now it serves the same purpose, right? Which is to protect you from, and in particular, you know what they're advertising? They're advertising families. So they're advertising new moms with their babies. And I never thought about this, right? But the mom has a mask on, and so if the baby can see her, it's still got a mask on, but the baby can see her smile, she can gesture, and all those other kinds of things. So every day is a great day to start a business. There are a lot of things. I mean, today somebody is experiencing something, you know, whether it's an inconvenience or just something that they like, right? That the other people may like, you know. But again, the question becomes, you know, how do you go about validating it, right? What I would say to people is don't pour a lot of money into it until you know, there's steps before you start pouring money into something, and go through those steps. Otherwise, you'll go broke.
You know, we didn't talk about initially, and he glazed over a little bit, but he didn't spend a lot of time on it. Was turning what should be considered a hobby, and what happens when it gets to the point that it should be a business. Because every hobby should not be a business. Every person that can cook good chicken or lasagna shouldn't say, I need to open up a restaurant. Because those are the top businesses that really close quickly and fast. The restaurants, they're very hard to maintain. So that he didn't go over, which was fine because other people didn't really ask about that.
Yeah.
I think they were already in the stage of formulating the business, trying to get it going, what to do type thing.
Yeah. Well, so restaurants close because for a couple of reasons. One, there's very little room for error. And I mentioned this before. Most restaurants are operating on somewhere between a 3 and 7% profit margin. And so one little slip up and it's, you know, hasta la vista, baby. But then the other thing is that it's a crowded industry. It's a crowded industry. And the lure is that it's easy. Right? You bake something, somebody tells you it tastes good. You say, "Oh, I should sell it. I should open a restaurant." Or
Food
is a
necessity.
It is a necessity. But you can, you walk down most streets. I mean, if I go out here on Spring, right? And so you go ahead.
Well, what the thing about restaurants is what we were talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know which restaurants stand out and which ones don't. I don't know. I mean, I think that there are some who do a better job at stuff that they for me. But some of the look. So here's the truth, right? Some of the restaurants that do a better job for me have gone under. You know what I mean? Like I go into, and I'm gonna drive up there and get some chicken wings and they're closed, or some turkey wings and turkey chops, and they're no longer around. But to me, they made the best turkey chops around. So, I don't know. But hobbies and this is the other thing that I would say about a business for the most part. Find something you like to do, right? And then do it because you like to do it, right? And then because the passion will be there when the money's not. Because when you start a business, the money's not there right away. The work is there, and sometimes your energy to do the work wanes because you don't like it. Right? So if you find the thing that you like to do, it will be the driving force. And then I think everything else will follow that. That would be the advice. And,
the cliche is that if you love what the the job that you do, then you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, about that, you're always working, but.
So, Diane, what did you get? What's the big takeaways you got from it?
That it was good, and everybody who wants to start a business should be able to get free access to these services at GNEC and the North Urban League. So, on the home front, Candace Owens has been mouthing off to Cardi B. Cardi B apparently has been doing Instagrams talking about her support for Biden and why people should not support Trump and that he's a racist. And then on the other hand, Candace Owens is saying, well, Biden is been a racist for many years, and the Democratic Party is exactly what racism and segregation has.
But she's right.
But there are some things that she says that make sense, and then there are some things that she says that are just left field.
See, the clock behind me, Diane, it's broken. That clock behind me is, so that's Candace Owens. I think she's a broken person. She's in need of some love. She needs a big hug. Now, don't call me. I'm not going to provide that. But she does need a hug somewhere in her life. Something went terribly wrong. And hopefully, before she passes on from this world, she can find some peace with it. But yeah, she's right in this instance. I mean, both. But look, she what I see in Biden, but she refuses to see it in Trump. Right. So so just say it about both of them and call it a day. Don't say it about one to defend the other. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, which is what she's doing. Say it about both. If you
has a great similarity to is the antiviral, anti-vaccine people. They seem to be backed by people with a lot of money, so that they can be the front person on saying some really stupid things. Now, keep in mind, and you're right, there are some merits in some of the things that she says. However, one of the points that I see that you were talking about why she can't see it in Trump is the same thing that a lot of people can't see the bad side of Trump, because they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to they lie, or just a lie, or spin, or just lie in general and totally.
Yeah.
Because people just hate the fact of, oh my God, I was wrong. Get over yourself. According to my wife, I'm happy when I get moments that I'm right.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. So, look, and we talked about Cardi B, who sat down with what's his name, Bernie Sanders, right? And then she sat down with these people and trying to use her platform to enlighten folks. I wish that Cardi B would spend time understanding the influence, maybe consider, maybe dress a little more appropriately, stop grinding on folks on stage, that kind of stuff, right? That's me. Maybe I'm just, dropping my morals on her. I don't know, my values, but in somebody who displays moral bankruptcy to come and say that she has some currency somewhere to be able to offer, I just, nah, not for me.
Well, I agree, because, if you look at it, look how many people in the 60s were upset and called Elvis all kinds of names because how he danced and jiggled with that hose in his pants. But on the other end, she does have a strong level of influence to who they influence. It changes the course. And one of the things that I love is the simple fact that we show different sides and let people make their decision.
Elvis's dancing, shaking in his pants did not influence people in the way in which Cardi B is dragging them back into prostitution, exploiting child pornography, and all these other things. So there's a big difference between Elvis and what white people were doing to follow him, and where we're at today, and where Cardi B is leading some of these young girls.
No, there is a difference. I can agree upon that. They're going to, no matter what you do. And yeah, I mean, she's not on my top 10. And and when my daughter listens to Cardi B and some of the things that she says, I cringe because I would not like my to affect change in a positive way. Like, not the fact of who they're voting for, but the simple fact that they're getting involved and engaged and finding out about candidates to vote. I'm all for it.
Well, no, wait. Finding out about did she try to find out about Donald Trump?
I can't say.
See,
that.
right. So no, she's not trying to find out about candidates, right? She's aligned herself, and like I said,
He hasn't aligned himself. They've aligned.
She hasn't aligned.
They've
Right.
used her.
Right.
Well, no, but no. Well, no. She's not aligned with Donald Trump herself. She's availed herself. And by availing herself, she has aligned herself. So when you look, irrespective of how we may want to dig in the weeds of this thing, when the headline surfers, this millennial age, there's an alignment there.
Well, I would agree that or if we can agree that based on her worldview, she found Biden
Worldview?
a lot more palatable.
Wait a minute.
Palatable than Trump.
Vincent, you're killing me today. Cardi B has a worldview?
Everybody has a worldview. Now, everybody has a worldview. Everybody has a view of how they see the world or what's happening in the world and their opinion on it. That's
scary.
No matter how limited or
well then let's qualify. Let's qualify it then. But let's qualify it. It'll say Cardi B's limited worldview or skewed worldview. Let's add a qualifier to that. Then I wouldn't laugh so hard. But I would agree that everybody has a.
Well, I didn't say her worldview was that, but she does have a worldview. Trump. Now, based on other people's worldviews, because, we don't know what other people see in its totality and how they come with that level of understanding, reasoning, and logic. They may find it, I talked worse than what it is right now. And I was shocked, and I had to find out where did he come up with that.
Call it go.
Why are you so high on Cardi B? I don't personally like the chick, but you seem to be down on this girl. You're killing her worldview. She got a feeling and opinion like everybody, man. Come on, let her win. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and her worldview is to the way the world is. I think she's a perfect example of everything this show talks about every day. Right? She's a shining example of whether we agree with it or not. I don't think you should call it a limited view I think that she's using her platform in a great way. I don't agree with her position per se, but to limit her is like to say that we know better than her or her. Look at what it's got you talking about it. You know what I'm saying? We talk about Cardi B at least twice a month on this show since she's come out, right? So Cardi B is doing something, right? Right? It's not all ignorance. This is business. That woman made probably $50 million last year. Okay, for however she does it, she's done more in her short career than I have. You know what I'm saying? So I think we can't take that position. Like, she's a businesswoman and a hell of a businesswoman. And she's so don't knock her for it. And what I will say to Diane, if you think that Cardi B is influencing more people than Elvis did, I don't know about that one. I'm gonna say Elvis been dead for 40 plus years and people still talking about him. I don't think people gonna be talking about Cardi B 4 years after her death. I sort of pray not, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I cannot disagree with what he said. Everything.
All right. Well, look, we all have opinions. I just shared mine. That's all.
Well, before I hang up, can I just say this before I hang up? Hold on 1 second, guys.
Sure.
Can I just say, y'all gonna get off my girl Candy? Right? Y'all gonna stop messing with my girl and like stop trying to shoot my girl down.
What?
My girl Candy know what she's talking about.
Well, look, I think
I believe one day that Candace is going to have the same experience that I had. There is going to be a singular event in her life in which people are going to remind her that I don't care how much you wish. She's already had those issues. She's had the issues that show her that she's nothing but a black woman, and that's probably why she's rolling the way she's rolling. Remember, she'll tell you that her experience as a black woman has her saying F black folks. You know, you understand? Right? Like her experience as a black woman has put her where she's at. Not that she's trying to be with rolling with the white side. It's been that she has said repeatedly that like the things I've had to encounter as a black woman has me viewing the world this way, so I'm carrying it this way. True, now, but hasn't every black person had that experience? Yeah, but do you have to go and love them again? See, that's the thing. Like, you know, not everybody has to be like, you know what, at some point you can be like, F my family. F these people that ain't doing right. And that's what she's saying. She's left them alone. She said, if you want to be a fool, then you go ahead and be a fool. If you don't want to open your eyes to something, then that's on you. But I'm not going to roll with you no more. And you can't knock her for that. Like I said, that's my Candy, y'all. I'm going to everybody's going to make the moves the way they make them.
Oh, of course.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Look, she's operating in her best interest, and I'm not.
Like you said, Eric, on point.
That's absolutely.
And so, you know, with that said, like, you know, even Trump, unfortunately, there's a lot of things I don't like him, but I can agree with some of what he says. And when you deal with facts, like I've been arguing for the last 3 days with people telling me or questioning how the hell can you rape a person repeatedly or for years. Like, I don't even understand how in 2020 we're backstage who are anti-Trump are arguing with me about over the guy Jacob Blake, right? As to what he was really arrested for and what really happened with that situation, right? And now people are like, what do you mean she was raped repeatedly by him? According to her, she was, and they say that can't happen. Right, well, this is where we're at, and I'm at a point now. I want to close my Facebook page. People are representing themselves so stupid.
Farrakhan, ask them the question of they've never heard of people talking about being raped for years by uncles, women being raped for years by uncles.
Bro, we're in. I'm sure all three of us, four of us, are in agreement on this. But it's the fact that if you go and look on my page, I put up the hearing, the arraignment hearing for the guy Jacob Blake, and everybody's arguing with me about how is it that this woman could be raped for years, as she has said he has been assaulting her sexually for years, and this is his kid's mother.
Well, one of the things about the Me Too movement was that women were talking about they were put into positions where they had to involuntarily give up their bodies for years to the same person.
You got a bunch of idiots on my.
This jackass. Somebody comes up with a higher level of jackassery.
Yeah, apparently.
Hello, caller, go.
So,
hi, good morning, Eric.
Is this Jody Pittman?
Jody? Yeah, it's Jody. Hi, Jody.
So, one, how are you guys? I think I'm a few days behind, so just for full disclosure, I lost you on my page, Eric. Like, you are streaming now from the Eric Dawson show page. So, for a couple of days, it didn't even come up as a thread, and I liked your page. So, I might be a couple of days behind, but Lord knows I'm right on time with Farrakhan and that craziness you talking. So, just so I can go back a couple of days. So one, Eric, you said on your page the other day that Joe Biden would have to basically come to the church. I've been trying to get in touch with you for a few days. And
I said he needs to come to the altar of ADOS and repent.
Right.
That's what I said.
So I was actually a little I was good with that because at least that is a step in my mind with Eric Dawson to you have to earn my vote. That was like I was like, okay, I might have him. And I still wasn't at a space where I was deciding as of yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then one day you guys...
So Jody, before you go on, that was a continuation from my page when I posted what does people have? What would Biden have to do to earn your vote or to get your vote?
Right. So you know I love your page, Diane. So yeah, so I just wanted, it was just like an opening, at least there's a conversation, a dialogue about what is necessary for some people who are not voting for Trump, but not willing to just jump on a Biden bandwagon. He has some things that he has to repent for. Totally get it, right?
Right.
And then you guys had a conversation one day about was there any data that said that during Trump there has been an increase in, you said police, right? But it should definitely not read as police, but as hate crimes doubled. And I got so much data, and I didn't get it from Google. I went into pages, the Anti-Defamation League, and I got numbers that are like crazy, because it's just that same scenario that I always argue, that Trump has the biggest soapbox in the world. So if he says something, things change, right? So check the very fine people on both sides. In the counties, and this is by Anti-Defamation League, and I'm going to put the link into the page, but it's like 40 pages. I read it so that I can have some context about what I was talking about. I increased to 663 incidents across the nation, which is the second highest tally in nearly a decade.
Wow.
Only surpassed by in November 2016, when he talked about hate crimes and was attacking the Mexican community, that hate crimes nationally soared to 758 incidents, right? In 2015, when he went on his anti-Muslim terrorist little situation, hate crimes increased in the nation 23%. In 2019, the University of North Texas did a study by counties, and it said that hate crimes throughout his entire spectrum of these almost 4 years increased by 220%, right? That's real. That can't be argued. There is no skewing of facts. That is where we are, right? So then the days I couldn't get in touch with you guys, days went by. Now I'm willing to actually, okay. So I think that if we're going to talk about people like Eric, because I'm going to try and bring you, Eric, all the way across. Like, I feel like that Joe Biden does have a job to do for you, but I'm definitely going to try and pull you across. Because if we are just talking politics, take the emotions out of it, just people like me who love politics, love the game of it, the sport of it, that we have to, if we're going to talk about it logically or theoretically, we have to say that this is a sport, right? Politics. And so the presidency would be conceived as, LeBron James trying to get, or Michael Jordan trying to get that sixth ring. This is like, it's supposed to be smart and savvy. Okay. In the last week alone, is black people haven't realized, and then I heard Eric talk about yesterday, right before he went off, that Farrakhan told him something about a situation in California, that he was still willing not to say, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden, but I'm watching that Donald dude. And you have to, because here's the truth about this election. Donald Trump, about this messaging and platform, as a white supremacist. He is running for the presidency of the United States based on white supremacy, of that George Wallace run in 1968 and this Donald Trump run, where I'm just going to run not on the pandemic, I'm not going to run on numbers of job increase, I'm going to run on, hey, white people. Black
Jody,
people are going to destroy you.
Jody, can I just, and I'm going to let you continue in a second, right?
Absolutely.
All I want to say is this, and I think I've been consistent in saying this, that Donald Trump turned the heat up. We're the frog, the proverbial frog in the water, and the heat's always been at a simmer, right? And we just didn't realize that we were boiling to death because it was at a simmer, right? So yes, Biden keeps it at a simmer. Obama. So there would be no uprising in the servants' quarters. Donald Trump turned the shit up. But we're still in the water boiling to death. That's what I'm saying. So you want me to say how I want to boil to death. I don't want to boil to death at all. Slow, let me finish and then I'll let you finish. So when you give me the numbers and you say, well, there have been more hate crimes. I said, yeah, the heat got turned up. But there were always hate crimes. Right? But there are more because the heat got turned up. I'm saying, yo, Donald Trump, me driving up through Glen Ridge before Donald Trump, me driving up Bloomfield Avenue through Glen Ridge, always thinking when I saw the cop turn onto Bloomfield Avenue behind me, I'm going to get stopped. Had nothing to do with Donald Trump. I don't think that I've gotten stopped one time more, right, on average, that Donald Trump has been elected than I was before he got elected. That's what I'm saying. So for me, this America that has me having a conversation with my 19-year-old black son, this America that has me when a cop turns gold, because I got 2 of those gold cards now, right? You know, the metal ones that you get from family members who are cops, right? I got those. You understand what I'm saying? I talk about how when I'm driving in certain areas and I say on my page openly, yo, roll your windows down, turn your interior lights on, take the key out of the ignition, hang it the fuck out the window. That has nothing, that mentality, right, that drove to that, right, the micro and macro aggressions from police officers, that has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has to do with a culture, a DNA that is embedded in this country. And Joe Biden for 51 years sat in government. That's what I'm talking about.
But Eric, what you're talking about is not what she's saying. She acknowledged the fact that, you know what, there are those injustices, which she is right.
Right, and I'm acknowledging that. But I acknowledge that. I'm saying, yeah, he turned it up. Wait a minute, but here's the question I want to ask you. Ready? Here's my question. Is Biden going to turn it off or just turn it back down again?
No. And to answer that question really briefly, we don't know.
Oh, I know, based on history. 51 years of history. 51 years of history.
Even notice what Biden has done. And he was part of that group with Obama. In fact, he spearheaded that group for investigations and federal now investigations over things like shootings, wrongful civil disobedience, violence.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, let the dogs out the let the dogs out the what you call it, right? Whatever you want to. I agree. But guess what? Who the hell has been raising those dogs all those years?
There we go.
If the dog was there. See, I'm not worried about who opens the gate. I'm not worried about that because whoever opens the gate, gates get opened by accident, right? What I'm saying to you is this: they was preparing it anyway. There ain't a hate crime on a person did, in my opinion, that they did because Donald Trump. Of course you will. So if that's the case, don't mention Donald Trump's name and we're good. You want to talk about that racist people? We're great.
What we're saying is not only illogical. That's not only illogical. It's like it is so excusatory. So I can say this, right? I can say that while I just gave that little theory to Eric that I watched here in North Carolina, Biden put out the shittiest ad in the world. And this is why this ad was so horrific to me. So it's an ad where...
Erica, can you mute your phone? I hear you clip. Okay, I'm sorry.
Where that picture and that imagery of here's the White House. And then the clouds get dark, and we can't let this man flash a picture of Trump to continue to put us in the darkness, right? And then when they show people, they show a young black boy walking down the street with his mask on, and then they showed a Spanish woman in a chair, right? There was no white people in this ad from Biden, and I was offended by that ad. Because I don't want a world where there's all people. I don't want to live on an island with black and Puerto Ricans and black and Hispanic people. I don't want to do that. I want the world to be fixed. So, one, personally, that moment, right? And it was unrealistic and it was disrespectful to white Americans who also want to move forward. So, like, I get it that there is messaging that is insulting, blah, blah, blah. But you will notice this, and this is, I could respect it. So you have anti-vaccination people that will put the CDC on and say they're the worst on the Democratic Party, and Trump right now is the guy that's saying, I'm going to give you a vaccination before the election, and anti-vax people say nothing. Because at the end of the day, they're not really against people who propel vaccinations. They are fully behind Donald Trump. And if you can't call that spade out, then you have a self-interest that has nothing to do with me or black children getting vaccinations. And any American, black American in 2020 is running a campaign based on white supremacy. I have to look at you and say,
but wait a minute, but wait a minute. But Jody, what I'm saying to you very clearly is this, in my opinion. White supremacy, she did it covertly. Biden's running a campaign, right, with all of his pandering and offering really nothing, even though Vincent says you go look at this website that was developed by a focus group people, right, to try to onboard black and Hispanic. Let me finish. Okay, Vincent. All right. And then they told you the truth. Okay, got it. No, but I got it. You vetted them and you believe them because they told you the truth. So what I'm saying is that while they lying to everybody else, but so.
Well, I also met the person who said that, you know what, the virus is going to disappear, and then told another person, oh, it's really bad, it's really serious. Got it.
So what I'm saying to you, Jody, is they have all run a campaign anchored in white supremacy. None of them.
But Eric, you can't do that. No, why? You can't. Because Hillary Clinton is not running for president.
Nope.
No. But they did. But my point to you. But hear what I'm saying to you. None of them. So you know why they all and will continue to run campaigns based on white supremacy? Because none of them are interested in relinquishing economic and political power. And because they're not, right? Because they're the illusion, which is what we're looking at now, and the fight is over the illusion that somehow black people will have it better. But they're not.
And Joe Biden's going to save us. No, I know this is what we are in right now. That's not what I'm saying to you. But I'm saying when we're thinking of two candidates running for president, right? And I don't think you can compare the election of Hillary Clinton and you saying that they were running elections that were based on white supremacy, the election based on white supremacy. That we should have a country, this is what he is running, that we should have a country where we are separate, and black people should live in black neighborhoods that are poor and historically
let me ask you a question. But let me ask you a question, Jody.
Let her finish, please.
Talk about COVID, right? Let's talk about COVID.
No, wait a minute. Stay on one thing. And then you can go to COVID. So wait a minute, let me address this one thing. So you say that out of Donald Trump's mouth, he spews, and he does, that black people should live in one neighborhood and white people should live in another.
Yes.
Right? But let me ask you a question. Wait, Jody, let me ask you a question. But right now, black people live in one neighborhood and white people live in another, right?
They do, but I don't live in a black neighborhood.
No, Vincent, that's you. So, but again, Vincent, I'm going to applaud you, and I'm going to keep applauding you. Let me finish. I'm saying statistically, the thing that you say Donald Trump is spewing is already occurring. It's already occurring. The thing that he's spewing is already occurring. So those other people who Donald Trump is more overt in saying what he wants to do. Those people, however, lullabied black people to sleep in thinking that they were going to do something different. He's saying what is already being done. It's already being done. When you look at the racial wealth gap, when you look at the racial income gap, when you look at the racial education gap, when you look at the poverty rate.
Right? He's taking action to do it, right? So what you're talking about is the illusion of inclusion, right? That doesn't do anything to get black people out of poverty, right? Donald Trump is saying, I'm going to cut down the Fair Housing Act and ensure you white people that they are not coming to your neighborhood. Legislative change. The movie didn't get people should be offended by, which I wanted to say to you about COVID, right? And the fact that he lied was, let's take it back. So here, that they weren't helping these smoke screen because they're Democratic conversation. So we're not gonna help them. Let them sing. That was called for. It's affecting Negroes. We're not moving on it. So it was his failure to tell the nation that he took was only because it was affecting black and brown people. Let's know that. Let's say that because that is real. And all I'm saying to you is, I'm going to try to fundamentally, right? Even if, and I'm being honest, and you're going to probably attack me, I don't care anymore, right? So I've now made a decision that I'll pull the Biden lever. Not because I feel I'm smarter than that, but that Trump dude is an imminent danger to black people. It's just that clear. You can't throw me 1985 crime bill from Bill Clinton when this man in my present is standing on a soapbox tearing the ass of my people out every single day. There is no comparison anymore. We can no longer, as black people, act like that ain't happening because we pissed off at Democrats. That is illogical. That is not self-serving. That is not in your self-interest. That is just emotional. I'm done.
Amen.
So,
well, no, yes, but can I get my point out that I've been waiting to actually say? First and foremost, Donald Trump is running his campaign on white supremacy.
okay, she said that already.
No, please let me.
But she said that already. So if you're gonna reiterate what she already said, but are you gonna reiterate what she said? That's all. Okay. Here we go. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Hillary Clinton did not run her campaign on white supremacy.
She already said that.
And now here is the true fact. Okay, we cannot sit up here and be lulled into a false sense of failure by the past. What we have to do is look at here and now, our future. And Donald Trump is not. We have to stop that. You sit up here every day and preach that black people need finding economic equality, they need political equality. Yet this man stands in the way of it.
Stop screaming then.
Yeah, because it was just being built in your zip code. I could care less.
That's not the point.
No.
Hold up. Pause. The question. I'm Jody. The question was to Vince. Now, Vince, so you're going to say, I'm sure you live in $1 million house with your Rolls Royces and Bentleys and Maseratis and Jaguars, right? So, Rolls Royce. No, I just forgot to mention your. No. Can I? You're going to have to write it down. But go ahead with your question. Find that show. I have a Jaguar. Stop wasting airtime trying to prove me wrong. Stop lying. That's the wasting. That's wasting.
So I think the point.
How are you going to tell me when I
so
you're trying to prove me
no.
Stay on the show, why you let this guy stay on the show making up for lies like this?
So I think.
Could you ask your question? I don't want to talk to you no more because it's just going to be a lie come out your mouth.
I think that.
Now you're telling me you live in the nice, whatever hell area it is down in Burlington County or Camden County, and you're going to say you want the low-income housing moving into your zip code? Stop lying. Okay, now Farrakhan. It is the most craziest thing that I've ever heard when someone takes my opinion and tell me that I'm lying.
So the question okay.
I really truly can care less.
So let me ask you a question, Vincent. If you buy a multi-million-dollar house, right? You're moving away from where this low-income housing is, right? You're moving into a neighborhood where there are multiple multi-million homes. So what happens to that neighborhood that you invest in when you put in, I'm going to ask the question, what happens in that neighborhood when you put into that neighborhood low income housing?
I can tell you with 100% surety of what happened.
Because this is what Vince. This is.
Please, let me answer the question.
The question is so not cool.
No. No, listen. Listen. I understand. Jody. I'm not talking about black folks. Wait a minute. I'm not talking about black folks. I'm not talking about. See, because you try to preempt what I'm saying, right? And then instead of allowing me to try to clarify what Farrakhan was getting at, what I thought he was getting at, had nothing to
Now, and I'm going to answer it by saying this. I lived in Mount Laurel, which was one of the fastest growing in terms of $1 million homes. Putting in their low-income housing and tied her up in court for 7 years. Now, they finally got it built. And you know what the result of the low-income housing? Now, we're talking about now that they finally got it built, and we're talking about over 17 years. You know what the result of that low-income housing was?
What?
Nothing. All that propaganda about losing property value and crime and all that other stuff was a lie.
So
it was a lie.
So what actually happened with the Mount Laurel lawsuit, because that set a precedence for the housing department in the state of New Jersey, was that any new developments that came up in any particular city had to put up a percentage of whatever the housing was of income housing. Now, in many cities, what they did to avert from doing that is they gave them an option of paying a penalty or paying into a fund to keep from housing in Mount Laurel and other places.
Hey, Diane, ask them where they put the low-income housing in Mount Laurel. All on the other side of West Bubble F. Nope. It's all I know where it is. I know where it is. Actually, the low-income housing sits right between who's rent? $3 million mansion? John Runyon. John Runyon, Philadelphia Eagles, turned Congressman Runyon. Don't know him personally, but okay. If you say so. But again, that development, that low-income development that you're talking about that they built, okay, is all the way on the west end of the goddamn town. Farrakhan. Because when I say west end, I don't mean it like north, south, east, west. That's just an expression. Okay. Well, I'm not talking. Okay. Well, let's not go geographically. I just told you where it was, and who's nearby it, and who's nearby it. So you can't. And say a half. And let's be clear. To say a half a mile in a town that's 5 miles, you understand that's pretty fucking far. Excuse my language. Didn't mean to curse. That comes out naturally sometimes. But so, in your opinion, that's pretty far. But that town is pretty far. I understand exactly where it is. You're missing me here, okay? There might be a lot of people that don't know. But again, I don't really want to talk to you because you've proven yourself to be a liar. Take him off the show. That's all I'm going to say. Because this is about the 20th straight up lie you've said. And you've caught yourself in it on the show. Right? I'm tired of it. You are a liar. Every word that comes out your mouth. First of all, Farrakhan, I'm really trying not to actually be. What I'm upset about is your consistent disrespect. And you know what? If you want me to respect you, then you better well start respecting me. I don't want liars to respect. I don't want liars to respect. Really? I'm a grimy person. But understand this. I don't lie. I'm straight up about it. I'm straight up about it. Oh, I'm straight up. You've never heard me lie on this show, my friend. No, you're not.
So, Diane.
I'm straight up about it being disrespectful. I'm a disrespect a liar. You lie to me in my face, I'm gonna put you on blast. I think you're just a blast because I can see you tired.
So what are you saying, Diane?
I always hear your banter going back and forth, and I so am chuckling over here. There's time to go on to the next subject. So we totally feel you, Farrakhan. We appreciate your comment. And Vincent, it is what the F it is. So going on to the next thing. So out of the political scheme of Trump, because this is always a very hot topic for us, today hours went down in New York City and a plane went down in D.C. So it's interesting how other previous presidents, I guess this is going back to Trump, other previous presidents and governors have done a lot to remember and to talk about it on this particular date. But today it seems like only one channel was talking about it on CBS so far that I've seen. I don't know what they've said on CNN because I've been listening to you guys. And the president has not come out to say anything in regards to it at all.
You know, I was going to say something about that, Diane.
Go ahead.
I thought it was very interesting, and I think it was CBS that I was watching. Biden and his wife were in New York, and Chuck Schumer was there, right? And
Trump's there.
I'm sorry.
Trump's there. He's speaking right there in front of it right now.
Oh, is he? Okay, because that's what I was going to say. Like they.
No, Trump is not there. Trump is in Pennsylvania or Washington. He's not there.
No, he's speaking right in front of the. He's speaking right in front of there. I'm watching it on CNN. Not unless they pre-recorded it.
No, you just may be seeing him in another state. But I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna go see. But that's what I heard this morning.
Because I thought it was to me, and so Vincent, then that's breaking news, and I'll take back. Well, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, but all right. If
in fact, they just posted Trump talking to Pence and Biden even talking right now. They just switched back to the National Institute of Health. But
right.
By the way, and to further it. This lying jackass said that Mount Laurel is 5 miles. It's 22 square miles.
Oh, what we're not going to do is we're not going to be disrespectful to the people that call into our show.
Right.
That's what we're not.
So listen.
Okay. But hold on.
Let the lying jackass speak. Let the lying jackass speak. If let's just say, Mount Laurel. Hold on. The line. Okay, I'm about to break something down to you. If it is 22 square miles. And if you times 5 by what would be around or 22? No, now you're trying to justify the lie. You said square miles, asshole. You said square miles. So I said miles. There's a fucking difference. I didn't say square miles. I said fucking miles. Well, so it's 5 miles in one direction and probably a couple of miles in another. But either way, it turned out to fucking 22. Right?
You speak because it makes you look like a lying jackass. And stop spending time trying to make me look like a liar when I research everything.
So, listen.
You researched my point, you fucking idiot.
All right.
No, you just proved my point was that it was 5 miles in one direction.
So
now you times 5 miles by 5 miles, you're gonna come up with 25 fucking miles.
all right.
You can't be 5 miles in one direction when I'm sorry, my math is off by so my math is off by 3 square miles. I apologize. The lie is off by 17 miles. How the fuck is it off by 17 miles? You know the difference between 5 miles in one direction and 5 miles squared? You didn't say 5 miles in one direction. You said Mount Laurel was only 5 miles. I said it was 5 miles. I didn't say shit about square. Every time that you fight at Saracon, every time that you they give false information, they make you more like a liar. I had a challenge.
All right. Listen, I'm gonna hang the phone up. I'm gonna hang.
I can't believe you keep letting this lying shit on.
So Diane and I are gonna. Right. No.
Fake facts. You spread more fake news than Trump. You need to stop it.
Okay, Diane, you and I are on the show now. Okay, so right, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, Diane, how are you?
I'm doing good. You know what?
Is
I'm
it
blessed and highly favored, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. We're not going to cry today. We're going to laugh.
No. But before the Chiefs played somebody, right? And Vincent, I can't answer that because you can't show restraint. Like even if you know Farrakhan as a caller begins to have whatever conversation, you as the person engage, like it's disruptive, right? So a caller could, like, I've had callers from the 4 years that I've done this, I've had callers call in and try to engage me, and I just don't engage. Like I just refuse to engage, and you know I don't know outside of like saying don't engage. So anyway, the game, the players wanted to lock to signify that there are injustices in this country. And they got booed by 16,000. Well, I'm not going to say all 16,000 fans booed them. But the boos were loud enough to be heard. And, there were folks, sportscasters alike, who were, I think some of them, the white ones, were embarrassed, to be quite honest with you, Diane. And others seemed to be surprised. And I wrote in a post today, I said, why are we surprised? When are we going to stop being surprised? This country was founded on rape, on brutality, murder. It was founded on the backs of freed Africans who were enslaved. This is it. And this is why I keep saying, like, we could have a conversation about Donald Trump. That's easy. It's the other stuff. It's the other stuff that's difficult, right? It's the people who have been involved in politics and policy making for decades who have supported it. Either directly or indirectly through their silence. Who didn't come out and say, hey, listen, this shit is wrong. And then when you see a Nancy Pelosi and you see a Chuck Schumer put on a goddamn kente cloth to try to cover it up now, I'm going, fuck out of here. Pardon my French. Do you understand what I'm saying? We got people booing. Do you understand what I'm saying? In that culture, that to me, that was a massive hate crime. It had nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has to do everything with the DNA of this country. Everything to do with the DNA of this country. This country hates us. It hates us by the policies. And in one freaking election, somebody put something up on their Facebook page saying they're gonna. No, I can't. The micro and macro aggressions are so intense here. Like literally, you know what? And I know that we say, I bring the hammer down on black folks. But one thing that I'll say about black people is we take a lot. Like we take a lot. Take a lot of beating. A lot. And through it all, there's we see the devastation, right? We see the impact that taking and we've taken a lot, Diane, without the aid of help, like mental health. And it's surprising, literally, sometimes when you open your eyes and you look at it, the pressure dives off of buildings every day. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I want you to understand, for you to watch a television, and then here's the psychosis of black people. You watched the fucking game yesterday. And then for those athletes, and look, I get right. I got to pay my bills. I gotta afford my Bentley or my Rolls or my Jaguar or my multi-million-dollar house. I got to do that, right? So I'm gonna show up as a gladiator in my black ass for standing up for black people. Diane, I'm just like Diane. And so for me, like when the athletes in the NBA, when they walked off, said we're not gonna play, right? And but before I get to them, I've been a Dolphin fan since 1971.
Really?
Yes. And now I wasn't a Dolphin fan because at 9 years old, 10 years old, I was prophetic in knowing that they were going to be an undefeated team and win the Super Bowl, that kind of stuff. My aunt, who liked the colors, bought me a Bob Greasy jersey, right? And so living on Leslie Street between Chancellor Avenue and Lyons Avenue, you walk outside with a jersey on and Bob Greasy on the back of it, and everybody say, oh, you like the Dolphins. And so, yeah, I like the Dolphins. And so I was a Dolphin fan, and then they won the Super Bowl. They went undefeated. And then, yes, I was really a Dolphin fan then. But hat off and I'm going to physically take my hat off to the Miami Dolphins. They said, we ain't coming out. They said, because this is some symbolism shit. We want some buzz. We understand that is just more show. One guy said, so what? Wait, they played the Black National Anthem and saying we shall overcome, and they played the other national. What do we? I'm telling you, the Black Lives Matter painting all over the. All of this is just symbolism. There's nothing that is being done. Nothing. We are all emotionalized right now, and so. Again, kudos for them, and I don't know if you saw the video that the Dolphins did, but I'll share it on my page. Okay. But you know, and you know, look, I'll rip them too if they don't do something else, right? So this is one step. So you did this thing, you get right, but it'll just be symbolism if there's no substance to follow it. So I want to see the next thing that you do, and then the next thing that you do, and ultimately, because if you keep doing stuff. What you're gonna ultimately do is take that goddamn uniform off. Like, you understand what I'm saying, Diane? Like, see, that is the end of the road, right? Like, you know, or you'll kick it. The corporation white supremacy is so brilliant that they understand, and then you'll reach a point where you'll either say, "This is like."
I think with all of that is there's been discussion, but there hasn't been a lot of discussion since the presidential debate for the Democratic Party. And we need to start talking about it again, about reparations. There was a video, and I saw a black contract for the candidate, not in particular for Biden, not in particular for Trump, but for whomever is going to support the black agenda. And there are a list of different things that they listed, and then it's a whole like 50-some page of a breakout. But the summary starts with housing, economic, financial assistance, education. Those are the things that if we don't continue to talk about, I think that the symbolism of a street sign paint on the ground is winning.
Right.
And that's not close to winning. It's not even a step in winning. It's not a step towards winning. It never is. It's nothing. It's like me coloring my hair blonde. It does nothing for anybody but for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think we have to talk more about that and push it out there enough for people to start talking to the candidates about it again. Because even though Joe Biden is a Democratic chosen candidate by the party, he has not been chosen by the black people, and there are black people, and there are many of them who are.
I heard.
Many black people.
Was that a Freudian slip?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I know you said you were gonna give your card up. Did you give it up yet?
That will not vote for him because he has not, as you said, repented, repaired, or even come out and say what I did was wrong.
Well, no. I don't even want him to say what he did was wrong. See, because he's a... Yeah, he did some shit. Yep, I think he did some shit. But there's a bigger thing than him, right? So for him to say he was wrong, right, it's a misdirection, right? You know, he's got to come to the altar and say, America, pardon my French, guys, but I got to say it like this. And he got to say it like this, and they may bleep him on TV and whatever they do. But he's got to come on television. He got to stand there as the Democratic nominee, and he's got to say, hey, guys, America is fucked up. Wait, let me finish. I'm going to give you, so anybody who knows Biden or can reach out to him, I'm going to give you what he should say. This is how he should say. Black people for 400 years. Me, along with many of my colleagues, have played a active or inactive role in that. And for that, I'm deeply sorry.
Well,
there's nothing that I can do alone to change the current trajectory that the corporation of white supremacy has set for black Americans. You know, there and then he should go from there and talk about all of the down ballot races that he's not going to be involved in, because those people will continue to fuck over black people, right? The governors, the congressmen, the senators, all of those that he removes himself from supporting any of them, because all of them will be a detriment to black people. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, he's not gonna do that. So short of that.
Why would you want him to actually make a statement that? Well, why would you request a statement that you fundamentally know that he won't do?
Well, because the fact that I know he won't do it says to me nothing is going to change, because that is what has to be see, and this is the thing that I loved about Marianne Williamson. She stood on that stage as a white woman, owning her white privilege, owning it, right? On the stage, she owned it, and then she said, you know, in order to fix this thing, we have to recognize, right, this moral turbulence that exists. And we have to come to grips with that. We have to see. So meanwhile, while she was doing that, Joe Biden was over there fixing his tie, figuring out how he was going to distract black people again. See, that's the difference.
Eric, I mean, he did say that one thing that we need to do is correct America's original sin.
Oh God.
But why don't you put out a metrics or a request that is obtainable, that is within the guidelines which you want?
Well, Mitch McConnell believed that we needed to address America's original sin too, right? And then he said that we did by electing Obama, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So
there's a difference between someone having a level of sincerity and someone being a jackass.
Oh, okay. And so you believe again, Vincent, that Biden is sincere. I'm sorry, I don't.
Okay,
I don't believe that. I don't believe Nancy Pelosi's sincere. I don't believe Chuck Schumer's sincere. I don't believe any of them are sincere. I don't believe any of them are.
Or talk about the actual.
But why are we? So Vincent. So wait a minute. So you call back in the show. We were having this broader conversation, and you call back in the show, and now you narrow it down to an argument again.
No, I just wanted to know. You made the statement about what you want him to say.
Yes.
And he said something, but it's not in the actual language that is suitable for you.
That's which is why I said, I didn't say to Vincent Squire, don't vote for him. I said, and Jody on, that says he's got to come to my goddamn altar. And so now you're arguing with me about that.
No, I'm not arguing with you. I just want to know your mindset of why.
But I've said it countless times. That he ain't got shit for me. And you just admitted it. He's not going to say what I want him to say. What he has to say. That's not attainable for him. And because it's not, because he can't come to grips with it, because he's basking right now, doing the back float in his white privilege.
Well, his white privilege got him very little. Because he's been noted to be the poorest senator.
No. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Please stop that, Vincent.
But let me ask this question, if I could pass to get to the future.
No. Because if you don't know your past.
You know what? Wait a minute. Somebody asked that question.
I'm not saying forget the past. I'm saying
they said, can we not talk about racism and politics today? And I said,
started on racism.
Wait, I said in the thread, I said, well, it depends on who you're asking. That's a broad question asked to many groups of people. If you're talking about folks, no, we gotta talk about it, because this is the thing. It is the proverbial knee on our neck that is suffocating us right now.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Because he's like, look, my life is good. Can we just stop this? I'm like, you can, but I can't. Until you get your goddamn knee off my neck. But you won't even admit that you have it on my neck. And there lies the problem.
What about the professor of sociology who asked her entire group of white students taking sociology, asked them, do you think that America is fair and equal? And all of them raised their hands. And then she said, well, would any of you want to trade to be treated like black people?
But Vincent, what did you think about? We were talking about the booing, right? What do you think about what do you think the black kid who's sitting there watching a game with his dad is thinking about the fact, a sports person said this was such a benign gesture, and I said, see, she's ignorant too, because it wasn't a benign gesture, right? It was a gesture right in the face of the corporation white supremacy, performed on the stage of a multi-billion-dollar nonprofit institution called the NFL. So it wasn't benign, right? So we got to be clear about that. It was aggressive. And they did it, and the corporation white supremacy pushed back in many ways, right? So now, So now this black kid, right, who was told, 5 years ago, that we were in a post-racial America, right? What is he thinking now? Like, God damn, on national TV, people booing the fact that they're booing the fact that I am concerned that or people are concerned about me and the fact that I might get shot as an unarmed black man in the back 7 times by a cop. And they're booing that.
Correct. And you're right. It is pushback. And every time we move forward or take steps to bring about the equalities in which we speak of them acting on it. You know what?
See, but here's the deal. But see, that whole adage, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's not true. Go ask any psychiatrist, any psychologist.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I don't care because I didn't watch the game, first and foremost.
Right.
But the simple fact that they are booing people taking a stand for equality, boo on.
Yeah.
Because I cannot and will not infringe upon their constitutional right of freedom of speech. But what I can do is stop them from infringing upon my constitutional right of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
If I want to talk about Black Lives Matter, then I'm going to talk about it. If I want to talk about race and politics, then I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah,
because I have that right.
And I'm not saying that you don't, right? But the point is this, and so in Farrakhan, when he talks about and calling on the show a couple years ago, I guess, started talking about this idea of like real separation, and I remember hearing the angst and the frustration and the anger, quite frankly, in his voice about like this is the only way that we look. We as adults process this stuff one way, but I'm thinking about our children and how our children are processing it, right? How they're processing these aggressions, these everyday aggressions, what it's doing to their psyche every day.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like we talked about the fact that, is enough, right? You grabbed the steering wheel, you made sure that, you did a double check in your mind. Do I have my license, registration, insurance card? You looked, even though you know that your car is inspected, you still looked at the inspection sticker. They did just to give you that little elbow check to remind you that you're black in America, and so I just so when I
that's what I was saying about Candace. That she had that elbow check that made her say that black people,
no white people.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say no white people. That's not true.
Not all white.
Let me not say that.
One.
Yeah, let me not say that.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, and again, like I look, and for the white folks who are offended, it's not you. Like, don't think so high of yourself. Like you can't, what I mean? Like you're not affecting me. It's something bigger than you. But and that's why.
Well, Eric, what you said is true because it's something that my dad always told me. If the truth hurts you, it should.
So what else is going on?
We're finding that when people get offended about you voicing your injustices, they should be offended because they had allowed them and their children to excel over you and your children.
Yeah.
It should offend them.
Yeah.
Maybe it will touch their hearts as well as it touch their minds.
Asphyxiate. and that may be what they want. Anyway, what else is going on? Any other news? We can't talk. Yeah, there's some. We hopefully we'll break a story, but we don't have all the information.
But what else is going on a national level? Republicans are now distancing themselves from Donald Trump. Not all of them, but some of them.
Which Republicans are distancing themselves?
Well, I can tell you this: they are not the Republicans that have been all drink. But the winds of change, or what I'm saying is, the winds of change is coming. People are starting to wake up, and people are starting to actually, because one of the big things that caused this was the report or the book in which they heard Donald Trump's words. He knew to an intelligent level that in February he produced it to the reporter. So, and we've been talking about he actually knew and got report in November, which supports our stance and him knowing about the virus, the dangers of the virus. In fact, he knew things that, we didn't even report, that it was airborne, which means that covering mask is the safest way to be right now.
So, wait, this was in, where was this reported? Is this? I heard something. Like I said, I've been really, really busy. I know Bob Woodward had a book. And I'm trying not to be a headline surfer. Fauci weighed in on that, or was asked about, because if I'm not mistaken, either he was mentioned in it as well or something, but Fauci weighed in and said that he doesn't recall some of what Bob Woodward's assertions are. Am I right in that?
No, I didn't read that, but I did read the part where Fauci said that the president has a attention span that's a minus number, and he went into the president's disingenuous nature in stating the fact, even at the cost of his career and reputation, which now his reputation has been vindicated.
Yeah, I'm not a big Bob Woodward fan. And I'm not a Trump person, right? So, I'm not a Bob Woodward fan.
I'm not a Bob Woodward fan either, but in his defense, he is thorough because he's investigated countless people to confirm what he was writing.
Okay. And
in that part, and that level of journalistic integrity, I do appreciate. But the timing is very, how should I say it, fortuitous, that it came out at this particular time, and it confirms a lot of the lies. I forgot the actual count because I stopped her, who checks everything that Trump says, and that's the whole big reason why I haven't been a Donald Trump fan. I think leadership, Oh
well, look, like I said, I'm not, and I don't want. I guess because I refuse to just pummel Donald Trump. People on my feed and they say, I guess you're a supporter of Donald Trump. Nope, I'm not a supporter of Donald Trump. Do I want Donald Trump to win? Nope, I don't want Donald Trump to win. Do I want Biden to win? Nope, I don't want Biden to win either. Right, so I'm not supporting either of them.
Understandable, and the thing in America, in America's history, is that we have yet to actually get a politician that we have 100% surety in. What we tend to do is choose between the lesser of evils.
Yeah. No. On a lighter note, man, I went to a farmer's market yesterday. I don't know if Diane's still on the phone. What is this thing called?
I am.
What did they call that thing that I got to eat, Diane? Because that's all I've been thinking about while we've been. It was melted mozzarella between cornbread.
Yeah, cornbread is the Mexican dish.
Right? And you know who knows what it is? Ito. So I'll call Ito after the show because I want to know where to go.
They're in Jersey City. He did say that.
I'm not going to Jersey City.
Well, just tell him.
That thing was $7.
Was it? Was it worth $7? It was good. It looked big.
Oh my gosh, it was so delicious.
Was it?
It was, and I I can't use margarine. He said to warm it up using margarine. I can't do that. So I used some plant-based butter, and that worked out well. And you just you just have to keep it on low so that it doesn't burn, right? But it was so delicious. Like I said, I just needed like a dollop of some sort of jam or something, or chutney, like a chutney would have been nice. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so you get that sweet and that savory. Yeah. So when I was talking about jam, I wasn't talking about like make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich kind of thing out of it, but it was very, very tasty, and I never heard of it, never obviously where I can find it.
Apparently they're doing well with it because the only thing they were selling was that and corn, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have anything else over there.
Well,
Yeah.
but he also said that they ran out of the toppings, like they topped it with chicken or beef. I know, Diane. I was like, oh my gosh.
Okay, maybe I'll try it next week.
Well, we have to go to the.
That's what I have to do.
So Vincent, they have a lobster roll truck there. What is it called? Something Maine.
Maine's Lobster.
Maine
Cousin's Lobster.
They were on Shark Tank.
Yes.
And I don't remember which shark invested in them. But they had their big truck there with the Shark Tank logo on it and all the other kind of stuff, flexing their muscle. And they had a line of people like just waiting. Yeah. So no lobster roll for me. I want one of those.
Lobster. That's the name of them. Cousin's Maine Lobster.
Yeah. No, I want one of those Mexican things I had. That's what I want.
When we did it, was just so drenched in butter and like a nice soft dough, and I thought it was great. My wife couldn't stand it.
Like a guy have although lobster bisque. Now you can't with a cheddar biscuit. You can't keep me away from that. I mean, I'll hurt you. I really will.
Barbara was the one that invested in us.
Oh, did she?
She has a big real estate. She's the one with the big real estate.
Yeah, well, they look like they're doing good. So I mean, maybe next time I'll try one just to see what the big deal is, right? Because that's part of it too, huh?
Lobster bisque too.
Hey, Eric, maybe you can get Grandma Emma's on Shark Tank.
Probably because of the space that I'm in right now. The only one that I would want to invest with would be Damon. So yeah, I'd probably walk in there with my, but yeah, hey, look, maybe one day, right? We'll see. I want everybody to have what is the weather supposed to be like this weekend? Does anybody know? I know we're at 12 o'clock almost. But I think I may try to make it down to the beach this weekend.
It's going to be 73 Saturday, 78 on Sunday, cloudy on Sunday, but sunny on Saturday. So it's going to be mild.
Yeah, maybe I'll go down on Sunday when it's cloudy because people don't tend to go down when it's cloudy. Right? And just go hang down, take a long sleeve shirt and just sit on the beach, maybe read. Everybody for calling, for the spirited conversation. We got problems. Hopefully we can solve some of them. But I want you all to have a great weekend. I'm going to try to do my best. Diane,
the Eric Dawson show proves that it is. And the one thing that we are on is the ability to increase the black agenda, to bring that equality, to bring that justice, to level the playing field. I'm Vincent Squire, on behalf of Diane, the Queen of Media, and Eric Dawson, the King of Cobbler. I'd like to say, be safe, keep your distance, wear your mask, avoid crowds, wash your hands, and if it's God's will, we'll be back Monday to share with you our view, our worldview on what's happening in our society and how